Welcome.
You are watching Line Screw 1.
Warning, bear in the area.
Well, hello tubers, hope you're doing well wherever you are in this crazy YouTube universe. It's a lovely day here in British Columbia, and always watching the news and wondering, God, isn't the world going crazy? In every area, pick a category, doesn't matter. World's gone crazy. And thinking about a bear here in the woods is probably the least of my problems, considering how the world's going crazy. Anyway, I was thinking about how so many people are living on credit nowadays. Now, you might not be living on credit. I may not be living on credit, but probably 40-50% of the people out there are. And I'm astonished at all these new credit products that I keep seeing. It's absolutely fascinating how they're marketing to the subprime, near prime, prime, ultra prime. But of course, they love those people that carry a balance. And there's even people that have a substantial income that carry a lot of credit and pay a lot of carrying costs for their interest on their lines of credit and credit cards. But the fact that I'm seeing more of these apps that you can, you can even buy groceries and pay it off in 90 days. Like who would do that? Only somebody desperate, obviously. Which means the economy is probably a lot worse than people realize. Now, I'm kind of always worried about other people's decisions because, it's easy to be cavalier and go, hey, I pay my bills, I got a few extra bucks, everything's fine for me. But when your neighbors and people in your community, your state, your region, and your country, when so many of them are going tits up and they're heavily in debt, it will affect you because those losses have to be covered. Increases the price for borrowing for everybody else and the price of products for everybody else. So it's not good. It's always better if your neighbor's doing good. Always better for everybody. So hence, we don't want too much more of that lefty policy. And liberal credit is probably not a good thing. But the fact that so many our people are carrying these balances and they've got these apps out there where you can finance your groceries over several months and things like that, I'm blown away. For example, I have an Aeroplan credit card where I get a lot of frequent flyer miles. And I noticed on the app when I moved the credit card onto the app so I could track things more accurately, a lot of purchases over $150, which is it's a pretty common modest purchase, but I'll probably charge $1,000 to $3,000 a month, a typical month, and pay it off. But I'm seeing all these little teasers on my app statement where it says I can take my payment of or a purchase of $150 or more, and I can extend it 6 months, 12 months, 24 months. and here's where it gets really wacky, where I really think this is crazy. For a small fee, which would be lower than the interest rate if you were to carry it on your credit card, you can extend up to 25 of these purchases. So could you imagine somebody that's actually carrying 25 of these little mini loans stretched out to 24 months on a credit card? And guess what? The bank wants you to do it, or else they wouldn't allow you. Which is so different than when I grew up. 40 years ago when I was a young adult, I remember trying to get that first major credit card, Visa, MasterCard. It was tough to get one of those cards. And when you did get one, you had a $500 limit, maybe $1,000. And they would wait and see how you managed that for a few years before they give you a little bit more. But now I'm seeing all these Reddit forums where there's some of these young kids, they're 21, and they're all bragging how they got their first new Amex Cobalt card and they started them off at $20,000 or something. And they all brag about how the minimum income requirements, they all lie. They say, they lie. They go, oh yeah, I'm making $85,000 a year. Meanwhile, they're making $20,000 a year and living in their mom's basement. It's hilarious. In fact, I had to give the advice to a friend. I had a retired friend. She said she was declined for one of these premium credit cards because they have these promotions, just like they do in the United States. They do the same thing here in Canada. And she said I was declined because apparently my income's not enough. And this is a solid citizen that owns a home and has a good income and a pension and benefits and not a credit risk at all, and was declined. And I said to her, well, look, just do like the kids do. They just lie about their income. They all just say that they're making more than they are so they can get a premium credit card and they can churn. Of course, a lot of that backfires for the kids where they're actually not churning. They're just building debt, because obviously whatever rewards they give you are not going to be much in comparison to the interest fees that you're going to be paying. But I don't know, I'm just fascinated by how much different credit is available. Subprime car loans. I mean, a prime car loan is pretty expensive right now, but there's people out there borrowing money at 30% on a used car that's particularly a domestic car that's heavily depreciating as an asset, and they're so heavily underwater, and they'll finance it over 7 years. In fact, we got 10-year car loans. It's absolutely crazy. Or my absolute favorite, which I call the Never Never plan, these RVs that are financed over 2 decades, 20 years. Could you imagine how underwater you're going to be for the first, probably, I'm just guessing off the top of my head, probably the first 8 to 10 years you're going to be underwater. Especially if you do the zero down. Zero down, you finance even the taxes. People are doing it, and the chickens are coming home to roost because things are not getting better. Like I said, maybe for you, a lot of people live in a bubble and they don't realize, hey, I'm doing good, my friends are doing good, everything's good. Well, a lot of people are not doing good, and they're going to drag us down with them, because losses have to be covered by corporations, so they have to spread that loss out amongst their good customers. So it's not a good sign. So I think there's going to come a point where credit will not be as easily available. So in fact, I have some credit cards that have huge limits that I wonder, like, why aren't they clawing some of that back? And I almost expect them to claw some of it back, because I'll never use all of that credit. It would take an amazing emergency where I have to be evacuated from a weird country when I'm abroad. That'd be the only thing to me to have a MasterCard moment where I'm, charging, 5 figures plus. But that's here nor there. I guess that's why we carry credit cards, for emergencies and things like that. So anyway, wandering around this forest here and not even sure exactly what direction I'm going. Maybe if I see the bear that I was warned about, I can ask him, hey, where's the direction to the parking lot? But anyway, I'm still getting ready for my big trip abroad, and a lot of the flights are booked. Give you a little teaser. 7 flights and 4 different airlines, and I believe 5 countries. But the majority of the trip will be in only 1 or 2 or 3 countries. But anyway, I still yet to, book my apartment. I think I'm going to do that next week, and and then I'll be off in October. So, okay, folks, that's my rant for today. So much easier to have a walk and a talk using this GoPro. So I think I actually found the parking lot. I've actually never been to this park before. Just figured I'd stop and have a little look-see. Okay, folks, put your comments down below. In the meantime, folks, stay safe, keep your wheels on the ground. Over and out.
I got you, I got you, I got you.